Once again, continuing from the same file as before, we are dealing with two variables at a time. Now, when we have the two variables that we've chosen, if they are both numerical, then it is advantageous to plot them as a scatter plot to understand any relationship between those two variables, which is what we're going to do now. We're going to prepare a scatter diagram between miles per gallon and horsepower. And we're going to have miles per gallon on the y-axis and horsepower on the x-axis. So the y-axis variable, okay, start from the first data point. You don't have to include the label and highlight the entire column. This is going to be our y-axis. Then click insert and select scatter plot. If you select this one, the points will not be connected to each other, so you'll have only the scattering of the points. Okay, now we have to still add the x-axis, which is going to be the horsepower. So click on select data, and here is the data series. Okay, since this is a scatter plot, the x-axis values must be added by clicking edit. And here is your series X values. So we add the X values, okay, which is horsepower starting from the first row all the way through the last row. Okay. Click OK. Now let's move the plot down here, and we need to format the plot a little bit. So since there is only one y-axis, that is miles per gallon, we don't need a legend. Get rid of that. Now we'll add some titles, plot title, x-axis title, and y-axis title. I'll show you you know how to add those, so I'm going to just show you the final result of adding those labels. Now the titles have been added. Now we can control the way the y-axis values are displayed by selecting the y-axis like that, right click with a format axis. Okay, now we can go and control the decimal places. So you don't want any decimal places for MPG. We can select that and click OK. And there are a lot more that we can do. Now we'll try to interpret the scatter plot. There seems to be an inverse relationship between horsepower and miles per gallon. That is, if horsepower increases, the miles per gallon goes down. So we can type in interpretation. The scatter plot reveals an inverse relationship between horsepower and MPG. We'll talk more about these relationships later when we discuss correlation.